First real job for the little excavator this season is to remove some old fencing. The previous owner used to have sheep in this region, and we have removed fencing on some other parts over the years, but this area has not been touched. It has not been owned by me until recently, and I want the fencing gone to not have surprises in the future before it's completely overgrown and can't be seen. And in some places it actually is, but it's overgrown enough that I have to kind of traverse the entire length and pull it up as I go, and then try to kind of bundle it up and get it out. Last summer I had a bit of a small leak on the top hydraulic cylinder, the one furthest up on the digger arm. More on that later in the video, but a little history on it, because it has been resealed not that long ago, because then it was leaking, and but the place I used to go to to find seals, I think they messed up and gave me kind of a high pressure seal not meant for the speed of a hydraulic excavator cylinder, so the piston head seal kind of melted and started leaking, and I had a lot of heating going on in that cylinder, but then I was in a rush, and just the piston head and not the lid itself was resealed when I had figured out I had an internal leak and a melted seal in there. So it was kind of a rush job, and the heat that was generated back then probably tortured some of the other seals, including the lid that was now leaking. So now it was a complete overhaul once again, with preferably or hopefully correct pieces that are suitable for this application. I did have to pull a few of the spruce trees here and there to make my way. I would have preferred not to, but what are you gonna do when you want to remove something and there are things in your way? Once I've reached the end of the fencing, I was gonna pull out in this direction. It was just a matter of trying to pull it and kind of bundle it up, and fencing of this kind is not very easy to work with. In the past, when we have collected some old fencing and it's been in better condition and not as overgrown as this is, we have put a kind of a short log in the grapple on the rototilt attachment, and then we could just spin that around and kind of roll up the fencing. But here it was already so damaged that reusing it is not an option. Most of the sections were already down on the ground, and so here I'm just gonna take it, collect it for scrap. So trying to pull some section here closer and try to push it down and make kind of a ball out of it. And as I made my way back, the ball got bigger and bigger, and it did collect some turf and some small wood pieces and so on. We'll see if it has to go by a fire pit and try to burn off some of the organic residue that came with the fencing, if I'm gonna be able to haul it off as scrap metal, or I'm not sure how to get rid of it, but I want it out of the forest and in a bundle at least. So, and I had a lot more. I had a total of maybe 600 meters, so it took its time, maybe around 8 hours in total with the machine, so I still thought it would take more than that. Over to repairing the hydraulic cylinder. I had flattened the lock washer already that helps hold it in place, but it did not want to budge super easily. A tiny bit of heat was added, just with an electric heat gun, nothing extreme, and I didn't want to damage the paint if I could avoid it. It's a lot easier loosening the lid while it's still on the machine, if you can, when you have this style, so everything is fixed in place, compared to undoing the cylinder. And it's with a tiny bit of heat it started moving quite easily. On this one the arm has been apart before, and I've have a bunch of hydraulic proper plugs for it that are actually holding pressure if I need to start the machine and move it for some reason. So those were put in place. I have replaced some bushings at the base of the arm, digger arm in the past, so still save the plugs. But I had the wrong one with me now, so I had to find the other one in the bag of plugs. Did buy a new bucket for it last autumn. I think some places sell them at a discount in the autumn to get rid of them and not have to store them, especially for the smaller machines that don't really see a lot of use during the winter time. So I think I got this one for actually a really good price. Let's hope it holds up. A chain hose to help get it out without too much trouble, just 2 pins that came out easily. And since it was still kind of cold outside in the early spring or late winter, rather than opening a big door to get it inside, we just carry it into the garage. Some buckets to collect the oil that will come out of the cylinder as we start undoing it and taking it apart. Big pipe wrench to start moving it, but it moved quite easily, so I could probably have gotten away with a lot smaller tool if I had something smaller that had a jaw big enough to grab it, but this is what I had, so we're working with that. It was possible to pull it apart by hand, didn't need to involve any chain blocks or anything. A lot of time used seal, things move a lot easier when compared to when you install brand new. The part you see here below the nut, it's something smart that kind of goes into an orifice as a dampening when you reach the end of the travel on this cylinder. And since I said it's been a part in the past and it's kind of annoying, it has some lock rings and some half moons that are supposed to sit in a slot there, and a bit of a annoying design to get apart. You need one of these angled lock circlip pliers, but I'm sure there is some special with short stubs that you can just pull it and then move it out of the way, but here it's kind of coming in at an angle and I can pry it open but need to have screwdrivers there to kind of force it out of the groove, or it will just snap back in, and it was annoying and would have required like 8 hands and took a lot longer than I'm really willing to admit to get that off, because once that's out of the way you can slide the other one up and remove the half moons lock clip things. And I know the first time this one was apart, this nut was really hard to get undone. We installed it back on the machine to have it secure and some wood to have as a support, and we had this tool since the past that we had cut the other end off so it would be easy to slip a pipe over it, and that time it required heat and everything to even get it undone. First time we had it apart, but they probably had some strong Loctite on there. Since then I've just used normal Loctite and tighten it to a suitable amount, but it came undone without too much trouble. With the nut removed, there is this kind of spacer thing. It has some slots in it, so I'm not sure if it's of oil can kind of flow through that a tiny bit at points. If it's some overpressure release or exactly what it's doing, I'm not sure, but I will install it as it was from the factory. The piston head is a kind of a split design, so it's very easy to install the seals, and the seal here on the piston head actually didn't look bad at all and could probably have been reused, but it was like $18, $20 something, not a lot of money for the amount of work required. The problematic seal is the one sealing the oil inside here, so that's the reason for having it apart once again. Piston head and the lid are kind of easy to measure, and I had some old measurements from on a piece of paper from one of these cylinders from this machine, but I double checked the bore of the hydraulic cylinder also. The lid also has some odd thing here. I think it might have to do something with some end dampening, that you can't be ramming it full force towards the end of it. It kind of has to oil has to flow by this ring I'm pulling out now, and maybe can I'm not sure really exactly what the setup is, and it has some holes further up, but I'm just taking it apart and reinstalling things as it came apart. Dust seal is held in place with a lock ring. It can be it was a little annoying to get it out, and since I didn't want to order a new one, I took some time and carefully pried it out millimeter by millimeter rather than pulling on it and deforming it. Tried using one of those blind bearing pullers, but it sits against rubber and it's not really want to come out super easy, so but I will get it. Moved over to the vise and could get more of a solid support, and eventually it came out. I missed when pulling out the actual seal itself, but I took all the measurements and went to my go-to place that I like now, that helps me out with seals, even if I need to get better at like making sure I get the correct seals for things, because it's annoying when you have to redo things you did not that long ago. I did not replace any of the wear bands, the sliders within either the piston head or the lid. They were replaced last time, and when I redid the piston head last time, I think a new OEM seal was purchased for, I'm not sure if it was this cylinder or one of the other, and they charge an arm and a leg from Yanmar in Sweden and Europe. So most of the times, if I can, I source parts for this machine from other sources. The only thing cheap from the dealer is the service kit, with if you change the oil and all the filters and all of that. Getting the new dust seal started turned out to be quite annoying, and since I didn't find a good socket or pipe or anything with a suitable size, I decided to just gently go round and round and slowly starting to tap it and get it to start going in. I could use the metal part of the old seal to tap it the last bit down. I had removed the rubber part to have easier to grab onto it and get it out once I have it seated fully, the new one. And it seems I missed installing the pressure seal also back into the lid. I replaced all of the O-rings and all of that, even if it was probably overkill, but it's very little money compared to the work involved overhauling a hydraulic cylinder, so I'd rather do that. Here you can see me installing the pressure seal on the piston head. It's in several pieces, like a bottom part and then a support ring, and then this blue seal itself, and then a second support ring on the other side, and it's very easy to install with this split head design. You don't have to force it over a ridge or anything. And this one has quite a sharp edge where you want to get the lid to go back onto the ram itself. Here they probably have some kind of installation tool they put on there when they reinstall it at the factory, but I did not have that, and I ended up having a bit of an issue, as you'll see soon. We did reinstall all of the other pieces before we noticed the problem. The piston head, the bushing, the nut, and that end dampening thing with all the annoying lock rings and half moons. It was brought back out and put in place temporarily on the machine to then tighten the nut. When we had put the lid into place, the dust seal here had kind of been folded in on itself. I'm not sure how well it can be seen. Luckily it was possible to, with some oil and one of those dentist tools. Here the light is making it all white, but I could kind of slide the sharp edge under that lip, and it's a quite stiff dust shield here, but it was possible to get it to fall back out, and I don't think it took any real damage from this. Let's see if I move my hand at some point so it can actually be seen. Now we have a small electric hoist in the garage. We put it upright because getting the new seals back into place and reassemble will take a lot more force than taking it apart. Putting it upright like this helps keeping things aligned compared to having them laying down on its side. A ladder and some tapping with a suitable hammer, and then start lowering it down with the winch, and it started moving without too much trouble. I just had this plastic hammer and it did not really want to go, so I think we brought in some bigger guns. Metal delivered the measures better and it could finally get all the way into the barrel. It was a little trickier to install than taking apart because there are a couple of shims to reduce some of the slop side to side. I did not bother putting them into place on the temporary installs when undoing the nut and so on, but now I wanted them on there, so it took a little bit of time lining things up and getting the shim in place and all of that, but not too bad. It's a little easier to work on the smaller machines. We were a little too quick to reinstall the hydraulic hoses because then we couldn't extend it. It might have been hard to extend the cylinder and anyway with the new seals in there to get things to line up, but we just started the machine and slowly started lifting the arm up to get it to kind of fold out and start aligning itself up, so it could be sorted out without too much trouble. I think the camera must have been off, but at some point we tightened up the lid properly when it was back on the machine and nice and solid, and also made some damage to the lock washers, preventing it from coming undone, and the lid shouldn't need to be tightened overly hard. So, and there are O-rings sealing it, so as long as it just doesn't move it should be fine, and it seems to be leak free now. And this video was recorded a little while back. There was still some snow and ice melting next to the house, and the first order operation was to make a small drainage ditch here so the meltwater wouldn't follow the road downhill. But that's all I have for now. A lot more wrenching has been done, more recordings, but I need to find time to do something about it. But summer is a busy time. Planting forest is coming up. There is an endless amount of work that can be done with the brush cutter and plenty of things that the excavator should be doing. There are more work. I hope I don't find any more fencing I need to take care of, but plenty of other things it's suitable for. Thanks for watching. Hope everyone is having a great day. Stay safe.